I was going through my refrigerator and pulling out, the bottom drawer, and I thought, oh, it's got celery in there. I had a whole bunch of celery, and I'd only used 2 stalks for a recipe, and I didn't know when I was going to use it again. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to be safe and dehydrate it. Now, my husband does not like celery, even though it's really good for you. It's a great source of vitamin K and is a great source of fiber. But for some reason, he has something against celery. So I still put celery into things and he doesn't know it. And I do it by adding celery powder. So I dehydrate my celery and make a powder, and I can use that in various things like stews, soups, even salad dressing if I wanted to. And it's really, really easy to do. Now, when you see this powder, you think, if I add salt, do I get like what I purchased in the store, celery salt? Not really. That store-bought celery salt is ground celery seed and salt. This is ground celery stalk and maybe the leaves. But you could add salt to it, and you could use it in place of celery salt. You just might want to use a little bit more, because celery salt is more concentrated of a flavor. But this can come in really handy, and it's sneaky if you want to add it to something, especially if you have a family member that for some reason doesn't like celery. So let's get started and make it. It's so easy. So we're just going to wash these all well, maybe cut off the very ends, and then we'll be back to slice and dice. Actually, just slice. Now I'm just going to put this through my KitchenAid food processor, but you can slice them up manually, and it's okay to slice the actual leaves too. So I have this at the lowest setting. You can see it's nice thin slices. So I'll be back when I'm done. Now we've got it all sliced up. And is it perfect? Heavens no. But it's all pretty much the same thinness, and we're going to make it into powder anyway, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Let's just put this out. Get this all nice and as much single layer as we can. You don't have to be perfect. It's just that if you have them double layered, it won't dry as evenly. Once they dry a little, I'm going to separate them a little bit more, but that's okay for one. Okay. We're going to have one more screen. And our final one. Let's do it all out there. You know, the reason I don't like to use the food processor as much as just generally cutting something up is the cleanup. But that made fast work of this bunch of celery. Okay, so now we'll go over towards the dehydrator. So we have the 3 trays in here. And you notice on the bottom I have a tray that's covered. That's the purpose is if any of it drops through these trays, it'll catch there instead of going to the bottom of the dehydrator. And now I'm just going to put it, you can put it between 115, 120, 25 right in there. And you know, it's pretty thin. But I would say it's probably going to be at least 8 hours because celery is really composed of a lot of water. So it was probably 8 hours. It's hard for me to tell because I turned it off when I went to work and I turned it back on. But probably about 8 hours. But you can see it really shrivels down to nothing. So now we're going to put it in our coffee grinder. Put our top on. You want to always, before you open it, let the powder settle down. Pretty good, I'd say. We still got more. Now you can smell the celery. Okay, can you see? Really, it's just a fine, fine powder. So we're going to finish with the rest of it. Well, a whole bunch of celery only makes this much powder. It's a beautiful green, kind of a celery green color, right? But it's kind of pretty. Now I'm just reusing one of these wee yogurt jars because they're made of glass, and I keep them, but for a long time I didn't know what I was going to do with them. Well, then I discovered that these little plastic jars that I use for freezer jam, take that lid off, fits just nice on here. Hear that seal? There. Now I have a nice jar, and I'll take this off the label and label it celery powder. Well, I hope you like my video here on how to make your own celery powder. And you know, I have other videos on how to make beet powder because I'm not a fan of beets. So I can just put it in a smoothie or something and I still get my beet nutrition. And of course, we also do it with garlic powder. So I have some other videos if you're interested. I hope you make your own celery powder. It's so easy, and it's so much better than letting the celery wilt in the bottom crisper of your refrigerator. This is Prepper Potpourri saying happy dehydrating. Please thumbs up and please share and subscribe. Thank you.